We decided not to do the little countdown, but we are live. And as I said, I got a little song to play at the beginning.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my nature did recall
10 Daleks zapping,
9 Loki scheming, 8 dogs estranging, 7 Horcruxes,
6 Infinity Stones,
all 5 Jokers, 4 robotic arms, 2 Sith Lords, 1 ring to rule them all. On the 11th day of Christmas, my nature did recall 10
Daleks zapping,
9 Loki scheming, 8 dogs estranging, 7 Horcruxes,
6 Infinity Stones,
all 5 Jokers, 4 robotic arms, 2 Sith Lords, 1 ring to rule them all. On the 12th day of Christmas, my nature did recall
12 antlers pointing.
10 Daleks zapping,
9 Loki scheming, 8 dogs estranging,
7 Horcruxes, 6 Infinity Stones,
all 5 Jokers, 4 robotic arms, 2 Sith Lords, and a 1 ring to rule them all.
So, Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
I
Yeah, it went on a little bit too long.
didn't notice, but I had one question. Was one of those jokers Cesar Romero?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good. That's all right then.
Didn't you see the bad one with the moustache?
Okay,
He's probably my second favorite Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, it works. I don't know why it works, but it does. But I always thought it was weird, though. He had a moustache under that makeup.
Well, I know the answer to this question, Ian, at least for Ian, but did anybody watch the Doctor Who special?
Oh God, no.
No, I'm not
Like I
watching
said,
it anymore.
I knew
I'm
the
done.
answer.
deity of your choice. No.
I just saw another picture of him. It was from the new series, and he's wearing a skirt again.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm just not. I'm
apparently.
not having any of this nonsense at all.
Yeah,
Not interested.
Odd enough, despite having no interest whatsoever, I'm not quite sure how many streams I've been on or in the chat for recently that have been talked about Doctor Who. Odd enough, quite a few with a certain mega geek on the panel as well.
What?
So you've been on just 2 or 3 streams I've been in chat for. You've been on Mr. Brown Lewis when they're talking about the
Ugh.
Doctor Who.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
I revisited watching the Time of the Doctor and the Next Doctor.
I'm
Yeah.
not watching any more new Doctor Who at all.
No.
It doesn't matter. I'm not watching any of it now.
No,
But
from the past few years, you mean?
No, I'm not watching it anymore. I've boxed up all my Blu-rays. I'm not. Again, I already did it the last time with Whittaker.
I just did that too because mostly I have most of it on digital.
Yeah.
I just think it's not Doctor Who, and also the fact
Nope.
that it's really bad morally speaking.
Yeah.
So people shouldn't watch it.
They
If
just
somebody,
keep it.
sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, you're right. I just
Yeah.
what is it with them attacking a particular religion?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Every single time?
Um,
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Apparently-
Again.
I heard
and
she
always
turned
the same
into,
one.
she turned into the
turned-
star. Apparently,
Yep.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
In Bethlehem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she
Yeah.
better hope
Yeah.
she doesn't turn into a black hole and sucks everything in. She's already doing it now.
No, Shooty does that pretty well.
Well, he drowned everything in tears, doesn't he?
That's
Oh,
the
apparently
thing.
he cried 3 times in this one.
Yeah, it did. That's the thing. You see, I'll never watch this Doctor Who. And as far as I'm concerned, if
Never
they
again.
don't take Jodie and Shooty out of Doctor Who, I am not watching it forever. Do you know what I mean? I'm not watching
No.
anything they're going to bring. You know what?
Too late, Ian. I won't do
If true Doctor Who fans, so they call themselves true Doctor Who fans, watch this and keep watching it, hoping it'll get better, they're not real Doctor Who fans, as far as I'm concerned.
They can't
Well,
afford
thankfully,
not to
Dan's
keep
not
him
listening to
because-
this.
Of course he's not. Of course he's not. But that's his call at the end of the day, right?
Dan's always.
Sorry,
down
Matt,
there.
go ahead.
No, I just think it's an abomination. Personally, that's what I think. I think what they're trying to do is get to the kids, and I don't like that
Oh,
at all.
they already have tried, haven't they?
Yeah.
You can see it through that whole first series. Bloody hell! What the hell? Sorry to swear, but it's just unbelievably bad.
I think
And
I told you this.
I watched it.
I think I told you the story. So the school I taught at from 2013 to 2017, I think the last year I was there, I had 2 8th graders I was teaching who were into Doctor Who. They loved Doctor Who. This is like Matt Smith era. I went back a few years later and I asked them what they thought of Doctor Who because it was the Jodie era and they hated it.
Yeah. Don't blame him.
Well, have you seen? Look, I don't mind if they keep their own stuff away from the classic. But when you start going into the classic and you start changing it to fit their narrative, no. And I don't care who says, oh, but it's not, it's enhancing it. It's not enhancing it. It's actually adding and creating new stuff in there. And I don't want it in my old Who. Get lost. Make your own bombs and blow yourself up. Because this is the
12 or what was the kids version 12 or no Class?
Yeah, Class was rubbish. It was absolute nonsense.
Well, that just went straight under the radar like that. What is it? The Land Before the Sea or whatever it is.
That's the new one.
Yeah. Who's going to watch that? I'm not.
I'm actually hoping.
about that.
Given recent events, I'm actually hoping for a Doctor Who spin-off.
I don't.
No. There's a reason. It's a very specific reason for this. So the last episode can completely retcon everything after, completely decanonize everything after Capaldi. If they can do it for Star Trek, they can do it for Doctor Who.
No. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. Has there been any official thing from Paramount to say this does no longer exist? And this is a load of hogwash from certain people that they're just trying to come up with a load of just news. It's not real news. It's not.
That is
they're
true.
Just making it up.
That is true.
I
Very
haven't
true.
watched any of this the new Trek stuff at all. Anything after the first couple of episodes of Discovery.
There's no way that they would do that. Not after just finishing the series. I mean, even with the Acolyte, I think the Acolyte's still on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm going to present Exhibit A. Why I think it's an abomination.
What's that?
This is Spock.
Oh my lord! What they do? Well, that's Strange New Worlds. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
Strange New Worlds is in it's a spin-off from Discovery. So therefore,
well, this is it. Hey, that Section 31 is a spin-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's not Spock.
No, it's not Spock.
No, it never has been.
If I was in
Never has
charge of
been for a
Doctor
long
Who,
time.
I would go back to Bacaldi before he changed into Jodie and just basically
definitely.
said nothing happened after that.
Do away with
That's
the last
all.
season of Capaldi.
You
Yeah.
know
It's
that
like
we
once
would
it got
do
Bill,
that.
have I
Ian.
told you I'm a lesbian? Potson.
Now, do you know
that
what?
we would do that, Ian, but we're not in that circle.
No, we're not. We're not.
And we're
you know
not
what?
going to ever be in that circle. And
It's
it's
true.
just going to, they're not going to do it because they know that there's going to be a backlash from a certain minority that are just they're just too visceral.
They
horrible
will.
people.
Look, my guess is in the future, we're talking about maybe 9 years from now, they will do it. They will. What? Because it's obvious that what's happening is this agenda thing is slowly disappearing because there are a lot more normies out there that's beginning to realize what's going on than ever now. So it is going to slowly disappear, and then when most of it's gone and the BBC has got their senses back, then that's when they'll get rid of it.
Or
in
when
my
the
opinion.
BBC's no longer being funded and how to actually make stuff that pays.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is that they I don't mean to be. This is how we say things around here, Father. They half-assed it, especially with the coloured version. They did a fantastic job of the colorization. I mean, I saw some of the clips. Yeah, I saw some of the just some of the stills, and I thought that it had been filmed yesterday.
Yeah,
like I didn't even know it was from the War Games. I was like, that's really good if that's from
Did you,
1969.
Matt? Did you see it? The War Games, the new one. the
I've only
colorization.
watched clips. I've only seen clips.
'cause I
I've
haven't
only
seen it
seen
yet.
someone put up the final ending of the regeneration scene, like 4 minutes, 5 minutes,
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
and you know, with that whole rubbish. And I that's what I'm saying, that they're putting in all this guff from the new series that, you know,
Yeah.
it's ruined it. It's ruined it. And they didn't need to. If they just spent their money, made it okay. So kids today can't handle black and white. They're dumb. All right? Kids are dumb today. They just and they have no attention span. But why not just colorize 10 episodes and make everybody happy?
Yeah, but they did that in the 80s. I remember when they colorized It's a Wonderful Life and
Yeah.
all these other things. It just
the
got to be
technology
like,
has far changed now.
Oh, I
though,
know.
Father. You remember Laurel and Hardy, Father? You remember
Yeah, I
when
remember
Turner
'em.
went and did the Laurel? Remember when Turner did the Laurel and Hardy colorizations?
It was
I
awful.
just
They
remember
were
Turner did everything.
atrocious.
Yeah,
They were
awful.
atrocious.
Well, Pete,
But the technology is there now. It's even better than what it was when they were doing the whole dot thing. You know, the whole what is it? You'd know, Ian, CRT dot thing, where they
Oh, yeah.
they actually went through what each color would be in the black and white field, so they knew what they were wearing and that.
Yeah.
And even then, you know, it was still a bit funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But even now, you know, I'm really, really stoked by what they did. But the thing is, like I've said, they've half-assed it.
Well, it's one of the things I think people said is that the colorization is so much better, even than when they did the colorization of the Daleks. As you said, Matt, the technology has advanced enough there.
It has.
No, but
I
the
mean,
thing
I
is,
hated
though,
that Daleks
I think
one.
the
I thought it was beautiful.
original material was better. That's why it looks better. You need the original material, the original
true,
tape and
true.
stuff was better than because it was a lot more younger than the other one. So it's going to look better. Do you know what? I haven't seen it yet, but I hope it looks like that because I remember seeing pictures from the other one, the
Yeah.
Daleks one, and it didn't look like that. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
this looks like that. So, but I haven't
well,
seen it
and
yet.
I gotta say, I'm still upset with the Celestial Toy Maker animation they did.
Ooh.
I wasn't. Neither of
Well,
I was
you-
either of those, but that was style. Neither of the styles appealed to me.
Do you realize, Father, that those companies that are behind the animations, they're pop-up animation companies. They are solely there to create companies just so that they could do Doctor Who. And they're just literally the people behind it are corporate. They have no. They're trying to go for, oh, how much money do we get, and how this is. It's not so much the money that's being spent into it. It's the fact that they're not giving it to the animators
Well,
to do
speaking
the
of
work.
which, I just wanted to show. Ian was asking if that was the Doctor in the background that I have. This is the picture of St. John Vianney, patron saint of priests, that is in my background right over.
It looks like the Doctor.
It does,
Like
yeah.
William
That is
Hartnell.
not the Doctor. It looks like the Doctor. It is not the Doctor.
But are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes.
They didn't go back in time to TARDIS and history.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Exactly.
Oh, don't say that.
It might be Saint Doctor.
I
Sorry,
always
I
I always maintain this, right? Doctor Who
PJ. PJ
Good
is in the
Lord.
needs to
chat.
go up.
Oh, well,
He
PJ
needs to- Hey,
disappeared.
If
Where
you're
have
up
you been,
there, links in
PJ?
the-
You've been missing in action for a long
yeah,
time.
he has actually. He has. I do miss PJ.
Yeah.
But I've always said this: Doctor Who needs to grow up, and it really does. The writing needs to change because after all the years of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and what is it, SG, whatever, those kind of stories, they spoke to young kids and teenagers as well as the adults, and Doctor Who's still talking
I liked
6-year-olds,
Buffy up
do you know
until
what I
the
mean?
time. I liked Buffy up until the time Willow became lesbian and became a witch.
Yeah, but
That
that's
was
not.
After that, I really stopped
Yeah.
watching it.
No, but that's not what I mean. I mean the quality and the writing. Doctor Who still hasn't reached
Touché.
that point, in my opinion. So I don't know. But
Chris
anyway,
Martin's in the chat. The
Hello, Mr.
link is
Martin.
on if anybody wants to join.
Yeah, come on
Um,
in.
Come on in. Come on in.
Come on
Come
in.
on.
Anybody get any good stuff
Wait.
for Christmas? Anybody? I got 4K Casablanca and I'm really
saw
happy
that.
with that. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I will break open that cellophane and and watch it soon. Can't wait to watch it. I also got Lethal Weapon series as well and True Lies 4K. A lot of people say it's
Yeah.
bad, but I'll take a look at it
So
anyway.
how many,
since
how
it's
many
a
of the
Christmas present.
lethal weapons?
God, I
stories
just saw
then are Christmas movies?
Jamie Lee Curtis dressed up she was in some Pamela Anderson movie,
Oh god.
and I was like, yeah, she's in a casino. She works at a casino, and she's got a cleavage, and it's like, but she's a real, like, I don't know whether or not you'd say, what's the name of those people that live in the vans, father, in America?
Hobos?
Trailer.
No.
Trailer
they
trash.
live-
Trailer
Yeah,
trash.
yeah, right.
That's- yeah.
Yeah, trash. Yeah.
I try to avoid using that one, but yes.
Well, if you mean vans like transients is
Do you know?
No. When they live in campsites and that sort of thing, and they live in
Yeah,
you mean like an
trailer
RV.
Trailer
Park,
trash.
yeah.
Trailer trash.
I
Do
think
you
it's
know? On Christmas Day, right? I was waiting for the fam to come, and then I watched Die Hard 2, and then they turned up exactly when it finished. But also after dinner, okay, when Doctor Who was about to start, on BBC 4 they played Some Like It Hot. So most of the family sat down and watched Some Like It Hot.
That's on
And then-
4K. I really want to get
Yeah,
that.
it was on BBC 4, and then right after that, when they left, I watched North by Northwest. That's how I spent my
Oh,
Christmas.
that's on
Do you know
4K
what I
as
mean?
well.
Yeah. So there you go. I didn't watch anything modern on because there's nothing
No.
to watch.
Do
you know
Absolutely
what?
nothing to watch.
Like a few months ago, I watched a movie that I had never. I don't know, Father, if you've ever seen this one, or Ian. I don't know, or Archer. But I watched a movie with David Niven called A Matter of Life and Death.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
A long time ago, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Father, you would love this. It
I'm
is
looking it up.
so. It is amazing. It's got the lady from Planet of the Apes. She played Zara in Planet
Kim
of
Hunter.
the
Yeah.
Apes. But Kim Hunter. But this is like it's like Wizard of Oz meets like a war film. It's fantastic.
Is it the one
Yeah.
with the big stairs that goes up? to
Yeah,
heaven?
that
Yeah,
one.
that's pretty
It's
amazing.
got
how they did
heaven and
that.
it's got
Yeah.
heaven and earth, and it doesn't make fun of it, Father. It
yeah,
actually,
I know. You got my attention. I'll watch it tonight because I found out it's on YouTube.
It's
Yep,
a good film. It's a really
well
good film.
worth it, Father.
Yeah.
It's
So I
well
will watch it tonight.
Yeah,
Yep.
especially
you
the
will
way
enjoy it.
the way they did those effects were pretty
And
amazing.
I
It's
was going to
all
show
Oh.
you something
false
else.
perspective and all that.
And the
wasn't it?
best
There we
thing
go.
is, like, it has the weird thing is they're saying, oh, those films of those years didn't have, black representation.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah, I
Indian
saw that.
representation in it. It's like heaven. It's like we're all there together.
Yeah, I know.
It's a great
Yeah.
Christmas film, I think, as well.
I'm going to watch it. Like I said, you got my attention on it.
Yeah.
I think I think there were three things I'm interested in watching over this Christmas.
Mm.
I watched the Christmas special for Beyond Paradise earlier on today. I've now got the Christmas special of Death in Paradise and the Christmas special of Sister Boniface Mysteries.
Is Beyond
That's all I'm interested
Paradise? Is Beyond Paradise a spin-off of
Yes.
Death in
It's-
Paradise? So it's a woman, isn't
Is
it?
that the Australian
No.
one?
Beyond Paradise is the one with Chris Marshall.
Oh, is it
You
set in
Oh.
remember
London?
you remember at the end he comes back to Britain.
Oh,
he
right, yeah.
Picks up the
yeah.
command. It's about them, and it's
Oh,
about
okay.
them down in Cornwall or Devon, I think.
Oh, why
It's-
does the BBC do that?
Well,
What,
well, I mean,
like
it's-
outside London is more interested than London. Do you know what I mean? Robbie, all you see is fields. That's all you see. That's just
Speaking of
ridiculous.
fields.
It's- and the way they do it, there is, I mean, yes, Father Brown as well.
I actually
Oh,
just
grand.
started watching it for the first time, and then I stopped because I'm trying to read the books,
Oh right,
Yeah.
no, I'm
the
never-
Father Brown books. But it's Alec Guinness played Father Brown in the 1940s,
In the movie, yeah.
and that's the reason he became a Catholic.
Yeah.
So,
Because the
that-
story was, as he's in his cassock and surplice, a little kid came up talking French. He didn't know what was being said, and he was just amazed at the trust that the kid had in what he thought was a priest.
because
Mm.
that was
Yeah. And I mean, you look at today, with the way that they treat, Christianity and Catholicism, and I mean, I'm a Catholic, so and I see that
Oh,
I
great.
see
I'm
that the
outnumbered
way
again.
because I am
No,
a Catholic,
Archer
how I'm
is
being
like
treated,
Archer's like the grocery basket where 3 of the wheels are going straight and the other's crooked.
You mean the other one is the one that pushes random innocent?
You're the one that's
interest into
screwed
your
it up.
path.
Archer is the 5th Beatle. That's what he
No,
is.
I'm actually,
Keep pass.
I'm actually the one here who 600 years ago was actually Catholic before they were Catholics, because that was the only religion there was in Western Europe apart from Judaism. But then I'm 600. No, yeah. I was, but you're right, Matt. I mean, I went to Church of England school. I'm not religious now, but I do not in any way begrudge anybody their religious beliefs. And
I saw what the Church of England did.
Do you know what? Right,
I agree with you guys.
Off
I
the
agree
subject
the
slightly.
way it's been, religion seems to be bashed horribly these days, especially Christianity, and I don't like it because it's the basis. Whether you follow one of the varieties of Christianity or not, it is in large part the basis of our entire culture.
Well, and St. Bede, I teach church history at our high school. So St. Bede, we talk a little bit of the British history. He's the one that came up with BC and AD. And whether you use CE and BCE, the thing that splits it in half is the birth of Christ.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you about this little Christmas miracle that happened to us. My niece, she went up for, because she wants to be an actress, went up for these auditions over here from the people from the States. They were giving out scholarships. And so one organization came from LA, and there was thousands of girls that went up to try and get a scholarship, and one from New York. And only yesterday did she get awarded the scholarship for New York and LA. Wow. I mean, what are the chances of that? Millions of other, and they picked her. So I just keep saying to her, it was a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. That's what it is, So there you go. Miracle. There you go. It happened. Right here. Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
The issue is that a lot of actors today aren't actually treading the boards.
No, they're
not. Getting straight put into Netflix series or something else, and they don't have the acting chops. They just don't. You look at like stuff like that's the thing, because I was watching. So I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but I've seen Skeleton Crew.
I saw one episode, 2 episodes. That was enough for me.
The acting is atrocious from the kids. They're even except for the blue elephant. I don't mind him, but even then, it's just like where did they've obviously put them in there for a certain agenda, and there's no they have no charisma whatsoever. There's this little girl in it that just overacts. You're those ones that used to overact on the stage.
Yeah.
Like
but one of them is deaf, right? In real life, the girl, the Chinese girl, the thing on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
She's deaf. Obviously, I don't understand the elephant kid. I really don't understand that. That's a real kid in there, though.
I was going to say, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Why not have
the main kid? I don't even know how to call him black. He's mixed race. Kid can't be that color because his dad is completely black. So I'm confused over that.
That was a bit weird.
Yeah,
his father's a bit weird too, and I was just like, that doesn't fit.
But mate, you're forgetting this is a long time ago in the galaxy far, far away. Maybe their DNA works slightly different to the way human DNA works.
You know what really got me upset about that?
He says grass
stores. That show, the first thing that really turned me off it, and it was like within the first 5 minutes, they made it suburbia.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Star Wars, suburbia.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, there's like cul-de-sacs and all these things, and it's just that's not how I
see, Matt, what they could have done is they could have just made this a science fiction and not part of the Star Wars universe. Then you would have accepted it. You would have gone, okay, fine, set in the future, maybe. Do you know what I mean? But they stuck Star Wars on it, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. None of it. So anyway.
Okay, I'm probably going to burn for this, but you know, thinking of Star Wars and like Suburban and stuff. Here's something. This is a little dark, but
Horton hears domestic violence in the next apartment and doesn't call 911.
You think it's easy working all day?
No,
You think I like it?
I don't think it's easy, but yes, I do think you like it.
No, I like being away from you because I can't stand looking at you. Yeah. You think I want to do that? You think I want to hurt you? I don't want to hurt you.
I'm sure there's two sides to this.
But no,
That's terrible.
you're right, Ian. I've said this. I mean, it's something that I've noticed, possibly on the grounds that there's been a couple of things I've seen over the last few years where I've watched. I've been okay-ish, but where I've not been familiar with the source material, Wheel of Time being one of them. Although I had, as PJ knows, I wasn't a fan of that one. Well, I think there's a few things coming up where they had the possibility to be, if you can divorce them for, if they weren't, as you said, if they weren't part of Star Wars, if Foundation wasn't actually linked to the Foundation novels. I'm not entirely certain about the Night Watch and Terry Pratchett because that was an abomination. But a lot of these, if they weren't actually linked, I saw about 3 episodes and gave up on that one. I think there's a lot of them which, as you said, Ian, they may be on their own merits quite good. Especially if you then do away with some of what, but because they need to tie them into an IP for the brand value, it just makes them null and void.
Yep.
So, out of curiosity, I was going to start watching this yesterday.
What's that?
So along with sci-fi, the newer version of it.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I've seen
it.
It
is. I've seen a few.
Yeah.
When it says new series, which new
Got that on
series
DVD.
is
The 80s.
The 80s.
No, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
There's one episode which is quite clever. Had the guy who played Niles in Frasier, and he does something and he gets arrested. And basically, what they do is they put him in jail, but it's a different kind of jail, where basically they put something on his head, and he relives another life in pain and in whatever, but it only lasts for 2 seconds. In reality, but for him, it's like a whole lifetime. When he gets out of it, he's a completely changed person. Did you ever see that episode? That was quite good.
I can't remember, but there's the one where they get the stamp, like basically marking you off limits from talking to anybody or anybody.
Yeah.
Was it Outer Limits, the one where they had all the aliens arrive on the planet and they want all the black people?
Don't know that one.
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
They read
and it's like, take him, you know?
But there was one.
Like, what?
There was one I was looking where they are able to take a old concentration camp guard back to 1940s Poland in the camp. And he confronts himself as a younger man, and the younger guy just thinks he's just a plain prisoner.
Yeah. That's the one that starts off. Don't adjust your TV sets, right?
Yeah.
Outer Limits. Yeah.
We are in control.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they did that because they also did at least one, if not 2 or 3, or modern versions of how we call it of the Twilight Zone as well, didn't they? I think.
Yeah.
They did iRobot as well. They did a version of iRobot with what's his name?
Not with Will Smith, that's for sure.
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy. Did he slap anyone?
No. I
think it was directed by his son. So
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the
there was a
Will
couple
Smith.
with Robert Patrick too. I remember those ones. They were in the they were humans versus aliens.
I think
and one of them was a prisoner of war. And,
I'm not sure if it was Outer Limits or one of those ones. I think the original black and white ones did. I don't know if it was those or if it was separate production. I'm sure they did a couple of the early Asimov robot of the Naked Sun and Cage of Steel.
What do you guys think of the Twilight Zone, the movie? I'm assuming you.
I haven't watched it recently. I mean, I still think it's good. I mean, there's part of it that happened to age as well. I mean, like the opening scene.
Was it you that posted?
It was.
It was you that. Yes, I was. Yeah, that posted.
I'm trying to find that image right now.
because
Twilight's own movie placing.
I did like George Miller's one at the ending, the flight, the one on the plane. I thought it was very well directed, and I liked the one with the kid that could just make anything happen. But the other two was a bit weird. The Spielberg one was okay, but it wasn't great. And the first one, obviously, because so and so died. Do you know? Oh, yeah. So, but yeah.
Oh,
but kids
that was
died.
you that posted that far.
Yeah.
I am shocked.
Kids died,
please.
didn't they? In real life, 2 kids.
Yeah, they
died.
did.
Yeah, it's
And-
horrible.
I remember
Yeah.
that when I was a
I
kid.
think Morrow.
I do too, and it was like
Actually
when
had it
they
on-
released it.
On YouTube, they had the footage,
Yeah.
and it got pulled
Yeah.
down.
It ended up on Facebook. No, it's still on there. It's,
Yeah, it
Faces
still
of
is.
Death.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, actually,
Well, I mean,
there's
because it's not close up. You don't see the kids getting hit by the blades. It's
Yeah.
just
Well-
showing the blades going into the ground. That's it.
Yeah.
So there was a documentary series. I don't have Shut Up, but I got them on Blu. I got it on Blu-ray. It was a TV series called Cursed Films.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that, but like they did
Yeah.
like half-hour documentaries on supposedly what they believe people were saying. You know, cursed films like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
gee, I wonder.
Poltergeist.
The Exorcist. I mean, you're literally playing with real demons. So yeah.
Yeah,
Surprise.
yeah. So they were talking about that, you know, and they were talking to
Poltergeist
Linda
as well,
Blair
wasn't
and
Yeah.
all those sort of characters. But one of them, I found them totally boring. But they did have the Twilight Zone one there as well, which is you know they actually show the
helicopter.
footage and everything and what
Yeah.
happened afterwards and that. And I believe the director refused to actually talk about it because you know there was a huge trial and everything. Even Spielberg disowned him, you know.
Yeah.
But there was one that they had, and it was probably one of the best ones they ever did, was about The Crow. Because apparently The Crow is a cursed film.
Yeah.
And it actually, it goes through what actually happened and the behind the scenes of why it went pear-shaped. And they also show why how it actually occurred, the accident actually occurred, and they actually recreate it with the it's on YouTube actually, where they actually recreate what had happened and
Was
how
it-
he actually
Was it someone's fault then? Was it that they accidentally loaded?
yeah
loaded-
someone didn't do their job properly and they didn't clean
Oh.
there's apparently when they fire a blank, there's a bit of wadding, and apparently
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wadding
Yeah.
was still in the actual chamber.
Right.
And so when they fired another bullet, the wadding actually went straight through and penetrated his chest and
Oh.
killed him.
That's
Wow.
not good.
So
I
Yeah,
will
and I
probably burn for
remember-
this.
Mm. Oh no.
oh dear, I'm not even thinking about that. Oh,
But you know, he was found. Was he found innocent? He was found innocent,
Oh.
Because
wasn't
of a
he?
technicality.
Yeah, he was found innocent.
yeah, only because they said that the prosecutor had it in for him.
I know.
Of course, a prosecutor has
Well,
to have it in for him.
He's got a lot of money. That's how he got out of it, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Apparently, the prosecutor said, "I'm going to get him," and that was enough for
Yeah.
them to.
I'm sorry, but okay, I have some firearms training. I don't give it. Who else handled it? You handled it last. You should have checked that weapon. You never, ever, ever, ever take anyone's word.
He was
for
the
it.
Okay.
producer as well.
I'm
Wasn't
going to tell you something. I saw. No one has ever brought this up, right? But I saw an interview with that guy, and
he? That guy.
yeah, and like on 60 Minutes, right? And he was with Kim Basinger at the time, and they were doing a movie. Now he literally had a gun. They were doing behind the scenes of the movie when they were talking to him, and he had a gun. And what happened was he shot the gun, and the what do you call it? The
Magazine.
The magazine popped out and hit Kim Basinger in the face. And no one has actually ever brought that up again. Because I'm like, well, obviously he's got priors for this, where he's not doing his,
Interesting
you know,
to
he's
know
not
what
doing his
position
due
he was in.
diligence.
I mean,
You know?
I would have had some sympathy perhaps if he'd turned round and fine, defended himself for all he wants. He's got every right to do that, and said this was a tragedy. But I don't think he's ever said that. He's everything has come out has been.
Well,
this is what happened, not my problem. Or nothing. You know.
Thing is, though, Archer, is the fact that a lot of movie stars have gotten away with murder, literal murder. Yeah. There's people like Matthew Broderick.
Yep.
You wouldn't think he'd have gotten away with murder, but he's gotten away with murder. You know, you have that famous one with that guy. Oh gosh, he did a lot of David Lynch films.
Not O.J. Simpson then.
No. He had a Beretta.
Yeah, Robert. Beretta? Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Got away with it.
Here, well, I don't know if you guys saw, but Alec Baldwin was on Saturday Night Live last week. I guess Martin Sheen was hosting.
Tom Cruise as well. Sorry, Tom Hanks as well.
Tom Hanks was. It's basically like the 5-time club. So whenever you've hosted the show 5 times, you become a member of the special club. And Baldwin's in it too.
Do any of these people still live in America, or they all run away?
I
know Tom Hanks has run away.
Sorry,
hey,
I do.
You guys got Ellen now.
Well, we haven't got her. She's somewhere. She doesn't live in London. She lives outside London. So
she's in your borders.
Yeah, but still, we don't care. She, you know what? She'd probably end up on British TV. Some stupid channel will give her her own show.
You know what?
That's
Help, I'm a celebrity.
Hey, Ian, have you seen Graham Norton lately? We've got him over here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, and he's doing tours as well. He's doing tours.
You know what, Matt? That's what usually happens. Do you remember when or is it Steptoe & Son had their own show over there, didn't they? And it was the what is it? The Grace Brothers. They had the Australian version of, so they do it.
Being served. We did. But back then it was a lot different because we were heavily British influenced, and what would happen is that a lot of British comedians, after their careers were pretty much ended for some reason in England, whether or not it was, it may have been controversial or something, they came over, or they just ended. They would come here and make some extra cash. We'd say, hey, come and work for us.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
There was one when Julian Clary.
Yep.
He had that huge fallout in Britain.
He's never worked on TV. He's never worked on TV.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. Well, as soon as that happened, he came and started working in Australia, and that's where he was making all his money, doing all these old acts that, because we hadn't even heard of Julian Clary before, but they all just, they all just came over. We had your favorite one, not Hitchcock. What's his name? Something Cock.
Hancock.
Hancock. That's it. I was never into his comedy, but Hancock, he came over here and he was a drunk. Yeah. And he literally died while he was in Sydney.
Wow. Well, Dave Allen started in Australia, didn't he?
He started his show. He started his show here, and then he died. Like he did one episode.
No, didn't Dave Allen start in Australia?
Oh,
and then he came over to the BBC.
I actually know a friend of mine that actually used to work. Did know Dave Allen.
Yeah,
and he was amazing. And when
do you know Dave Allen, Father?
No,
he had his own.
But would he be in?
So he was a very Catholic.
Hey, remember, man. I'm into the. Ian. I'm just going to show you. This is the one I just discovered.
I was about to go on, but Matt stopped me.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold on a second.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this one.
No,
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it. No.
Yeah. Greg Davies writes it. Looks.
Yeah.
Anyway, but who is it? Dave Allen?
No, that's not Dave Allen. Dave Allen.
I know.
No, Father.
Irish comedian. David Allen's an Irish comedian.
Oh, I think I might have heard of him.
Yeah, he used to.
I have heard of him.
He's very funny, actually.
Let's put it this way. You know how
when you can actually make fun,
streams,
yeah.
Father.
He used to take the mickey out the Catholic faith a lot.
Oh dear, looks like one of my former students is in the chat.
Uh-huh.
the rabbis sign off. May your God go with you.
Yeah, that's
That
Dave from
is
Dave
Dave-
Allen. Yeah,
Dave
that's from
Allen.
Dave Allen.
Dave
Yeah.
Allen coined that one.
He always used to say that at the end, didn't he?
Yeah.
Thank you very
Used to
much.
have,
Good night.
used to have
Goodbye,
a
and may
fag
your
in
God
one
go with
hand
you.
and
Yeah,
Yep.
and
used to have. I don't mean a cootie. I mean
was it gin?
No,
Was
he
it
could
gin?
smoke.
He used to have, or no? It was some
Yeah.
scotch or something. He used to
Something
drink.
Yeah, it was
as well.
Scotch. I think it was
Yeah.
Scotch.
He used to
Well,
do this.
I
He did this sketch once where they were carrying two companies was carrying a coffin, and they were going to the same graveyard. And then one started walking really fast, and the other started trying to keep up with them, and they were trying to get to the graveyard. But it was quite funny. It was very funny.
There was one where he was walking along the street and he found a £50 note.
Yeah, that was great. That
Under
was
a-
great.
I was gonna say,
under a
what's that
tire
favourite
of a car, and
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
decided to go across the street
Yeah.
to wait until the car moved
Well,
so he
yeah.
could get the £50. And
Yeah,
what he
okay.
didn't realize was, as soon as the car moved, everybody else
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
cafe got out as well because
Okay,
they were
probably
waiting for
a-
the same thing.
I probably have played this before, but I feel like up for a laugh again.
That's this one.
Day. I was so happy. And then it all went black. My life, every day is hell. Sometimes I wish I was dead myself. Why did you die? Why did you die?
Who was he, Bud?
My wife's first husband.
He's Dave Allen just got it. It was some. They say there's two things you should. That was it. You knew it was coming towards the end because you always left the particularly religious sketches, and they come in and he said something along the lines of they say there's always two things you should never joke about: politics and religion. Well, we've done politics. You know who's going to go.
What was
into
that one he was talking about when he was young and they were burying his granddad or whatever it was, and he thought the priest had said father and son and into the ground or something like that. That's what he thought, and all through the years, that's how he used to pray. And
Well,
his mum slapped him around the head because he said
I
it.
never got into that. I just never got into that show. I just
What, Father
it never
Ted?
Really?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
I love it.
It
Oh,
never
that's funny.
floated my boat.
It's funny. It's very funny.
I for a very long time I really used to believe that RAP on a gravestone stood for return if possible when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah,
I gotta-
Bob Ted's amazing. I thought it was very
I
funny.
put return to sender.
Okay, I could do this one.
Yeah.
Father, while you were out for your walk, we had a phone call. I think you were supposed to do a funeral today.
Funeral, I completely forgot about it.
It's all right. Father Maguire said he'd do it.
Douglas doing a funeral! You let Douglas do a funeral!
Three of it.
Father Dougal wasn't the cleverest of priests.
There's no way he would make it through the seminary.
It's quite funny. Yeah, it's a good
Wasn't
show.
that the reason why they were sent to the island? Because they were
Yeah,
all-
because Ted was an embezzler, Dougal was an idiot, and Jack is a drunk womanizer.
Yeah. But you know what? The priests around where I was, they didn't like that show at all. They hated it. In fact, I remember talking to one priest. He was like, "No, we don't watch stuff like that because it gives Catholics a bad name." And it's like, no, it's just funny. You know, it's just like it's not really taking a mickey out. Well, it is, but it's just funny. You know, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you can't laugh at all. In my opinion, that's what I reckon. But
I remember, I went to Rome 6 years ago, and I was celebrating Sunday Mass at one of the English churches, and just talking to some of the priests that were from England, going over the comedies that I loved. And I mean, it was just, I think I mentioned Father Ted, and they
Did you ever watch particularly the first season of Blackadder?
I have the whole box set.
Well, okay, and I'll say with the
I didn't like the first season.
I liked the first season, but I see the massive changes for the second normal. I think the one with the Bishop of Bath and Wells.
Yeah, I wasn't very fond of the 1st
Don't,
season.
don't
The rest
worry,
of it was
Father. Don't, Bishop. We have the original artist sketches.
good.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm probably going to
I
go.
don't know. I just saw Baldrick was married to a woman 35 years his junior.
Yeah. Oh.
Well,
And
you
I
know,
was like, she looks like, I thought it was his daughter when I first saw it. I was like, you dirty old sod.
But mind you, of course, I mean, Blackadder, the first series Blackadder does have the one major advantage, Brian Blessed, in it.
So if a woman got married to a man that was a lot younger than her, is that bad too?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've never really. Ugh.
I don't know. How what do you think, Father? Do you reckon that's?
I'm
bad
sorry, I
if
was
a
just
woman-
trying to look up clip.
He wasn't even listening.
No, I'm trying to find the.
Well, it's kind of funny because I always thought it's weird because I thought my parents, they have a 3-year difference, and my mum is younger than my dad, and that's how I thought when you had to meet someone, they had to be 3 years younger.
Oh,
You
right,
had to meet a
really?
girl that was 3 years younger, you know. So I was like, okay, that's the way I'll be. So that's the reason why I've never married, because I couldn't find anyone.
So I do love the my love is a prick on the Tudor Rose.
Oh, is it
Blackadder
what's the
3.
name of the- Yeah, what's the name of I'm thinking
Gildan
of the
Sleeve.
character.
Oh, Bob.
Bob,
that's Blackadder
yes.
2.
Bob, yes, I remember Bob. Bob, I
two,
love
Bob,
you.
yeah.
I don't
Blackadder
know.
2 is
And he
Elizabeth
comes
Blackadder.
back, she comes back in the 4th one.
Yeah.
Yeah, gets
Yeah.
taken over by Flashheart, doesn't
Again.
she? Yeah.
The answer to your question, Ian,
Yeah.
at the risk of being boringly normal, and so, is that it was quite often a fact that unfortunately women would die in childbirth. You would quite often have an older man would go for younger wives because men are capable of producing children up for most of their lives, but women tend to be in their prime, which is why older men in general, they reckon there have been studies that say that on the whole, as a general rather than a specific person, most men of most ages will find someone roughly 20 years old the most attractive, other than their own spouse or whatever, you know.
See, I'm looking at 20, 30-year-olds now, and I'm just like going, "Yuck." You know, I wouldn't even have anything in common with them.
No, no.
Joy, then come, Prince Cuddly Kitten, climb up my ivy.
Sausage time!
I forgot Uncle Queenie was in this.
That's before he became.
I played a clip of that the other day in class. I don't remember if I said it last week because my students would know him as House, but they never knew he was British.
Yeah, it's he was quite well. They're all privileged, aren't they? Hugh Laurie, what's his name? Who's the other guy that was with him?
Stephen Fry.
Yeah, Steve Fry. They're all privileged people, you know.
Yeah,
they're all.
Oh, look at Stephen Fry now. He's turned around and like they had a all men's like area gallery that he was a part of because it was part of the you know, idiocracy or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just, and now he's like, oh no, we should let women in. Women should be in as well, you know. And it's like, why do men? Okay, so women should have their spaces. Why can't men have their spaces?
No, that's the problem. Yeah, it's fine, except the women aren't allowed to have their spaces either.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, why can't we just have what, you know, it's like the women are complaining because they can't go into men's spaces, and yet, you know, it's like, well, all of a sudden, you know, they're trying to have them
a little bit of Fry and Laurie, literally.
Is adorable, my love. Very well. Proceed. Thank you, my love. Now, I do not propose, Miss Talliot, to burden the jury with any more details of your sordid and disreputable erotic career than is necessary. I merely wish to know, for my own private elucidation, how it is that you expect a British jury to believe the testimony of a monstrous bull dyke of your standing against that of a respectable businessman.
I am merely reporting what I saw.
What you saw? What you saw through eyes dimmed with lust? What you saw, maddened by the noxious juices of your notorious practices?
What I saw on my way back from the parish council meeting.
Is it not a fact, Miss Toilet, that the words parish council are an infamous anagram of the words lesbian crouch? You hesitate, Miss Elliot? You stand condemned out of your own soiled and contaminated mouth. No further questions.
Oh, it gets better.
Further questions. Thank you, Mrs. Tapp.
You may stand down, Mr. Lesbian.
Oh. Will you be in for tea tonight, Jeremy?
Certainly, Mother. Call for Anthony.
He's over here at the moment, actually, Stephen
Is
Fry.
he?
But I got really mad at him because you know that gentleman that got into a lot of trouble is at MasterChef, the one that got into trouble for saying a few. He was doing double entendres, father. I mean, how awful, you know. But Stephen Fry's there, they're criticizing him and having a go, and I'm like, here's a picture of Stephen Fry wearing a pair of big tits. And that's what I did. I put a video and I went, you are a hypocrite. You are an absolute hypocrite.
Well, I will say that I have the collective writings of Sherlock Holmes read by Stephen Fry. And I just downloaded them the other day. I'm going to listen to a few more of them.
Stephen Fry is a very intelligent chap, but right, everyone has their own opinion. I know he hates God, basically.
Yeah, he's an atheist.
No, it's not that. He's an atheist, but he actually literally hates God. I've actually heard him speak about, religion and stuff like that. You could be courteous, but the way he's saying it, I think it's kind of a bit of hate.
I find that he is giving in the way that he will discuss things with people like, say, Jordan Peterson or someone like that.
Yeah,
I don't think he's as extreme as Ricky Gervais.
No, Ricky Gervais. At least Ricky Gervais has his tongue firmly in his cheek when he actually talks about being an atheist. He jokes when he talks about the whole concept of God. He jokes about it, but he actually believes what he's saying, but he jokes about it. There's a difference. It's like you can be a jerk by giving criticism, or you can be factual about it without being a jerk. And I think with Ricky Gervais, I think he's being a jerk, but he's not being a jerk because he uses humor to kind of like flatten it a bit. But with Stephen Fry, the things that he says, it's kind of like he really resents the whole of religion, which is not really courteous. It's the way he says it, if you know what I mean. I think it's a bit.
I guess I'm lucky I've never listened to it.
Well, I listen to both sides, come to my own conclusion.
And I just noticed this comment from PJ, bless me, Father. I think I have seen an episode of it.
Awful.
Yeah. It's like there's some things that you just hear of British comedies and like Terry and June, and I was like, I'm not really into Terry and June. I watched the first episode. I got the box set and everything because I was like, I'm ready watching
huge
it.
hit over here.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. A lot of things we didn't actually get over here, or it wasn't replayed over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things like some others do have them, which was shown.
But you know what, right? The reason
Looks like
why
I'm gonna have to look into it.
The reason why we had shows like Terry and June and Grace Brothers and stuff like that was because at that moment in time in the 70s, there was a lot of so-called English people, do you know what I mean, with the English flag and all that. But when we went from the late 70s to the 80s, there were a lot more mixed families. So that's why we had the Fosters with Lenny Henry. We had what's that one with the Barbers on Channel 4. So they were trying to speak to the other kind of people in England as well, because England was developing, right, as a nation.
See, I mean, Australia was predominantly white here.
Yeah, I know.
And it was very strange watching in the 80s, seeing something like Metal Mickey, right?
Yeah.
Where this white little nerdy boy had a black girlfriend. And she was so totally different to him, and it just didn't seem right.
But that was the thing, Matt.
It was odd,
Yeah, that was the thing, Matt, because they've got a remit, right? All the channels over here has got remit from BBC One to ITV to Channel 4. They have this remit where they get money, but they have to integrate the different bits of England, right? So you got like a Somerset or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And in the shows, they have to integrate it. That's why you have mixed couples.
Is
in,
that
like,
why
maybe-
BBC is so predominantly
No,
black now?
BBC has taken it to the level that's incredible. It's so stupid. That's what they've done because of woke. But and same thing with every other channel as well. But when it started, it was because that was the law. You had to integrate. Your channel had to speak to the amount of people that are out there now. Do you know what I mean? That's why we were introduced to what was that show? Desmond's. We got Desmond's. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So yeah.
I mean, what you happened? You went from the 50s and the 60s. This is why you've gone to the cut glass BBC received pronunciation readers, news readers, to people who spoke a little more like normal people. And as you said, Ian, you branched out. You had your nationwide first come out, and you get your regional things and all the rest of it.
Yeah. And
the problem is with British.
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
No, I was just going to say the problem is with British newsreaders and that today is the fact that they have attitude.
Yeah.
Now they do. But you know what, right? I was very proud when I was growing up that I wanted to be part of the BBC because I realized what they were doing. They were literally trying to integrate everybody because the whole of England was changing at that moment in time. We had more mixed race families. We had, different races that were coming into. So they were trying to but now they've just taken it too far. It's all about the queer stuff. It's all about the trans stuff. It's all. Do you know what I mean? And there's not enough of them because then they're not even they're the majority. No, they're the minority.
Yeah.
But they seem to be because the BBC has been infiltrated by queer people. All the people at the top. That's why the BBC is going that way.
It's the same with the ABC here, in that we have reporters and that, and people doing hosts and that now that they're transistors. And they have no journalism experience whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you can, it's because that they're a personality, and that sort of thing. It's garbage.
Trevor McDonald, right? He was born in Trinidad, okay, and he came over when he was a kid. So in the 60s, and he started on radio, and he had to go to school to actually pronounce his words properly, so that he get a job as someone on the radio, and then he transferred to TV, and now he's like a beloved presenter now, isn't he?
I mean, I still laugh at Mind Your Language.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Have you seen that, Father?
I don't know. I've heard of it.
It's very funny.
It is. It's very funny. It's a language school.
Yeah. What annoys me about a lot of these people who complain about, for example, you had up. Love Thy Neighbour.
Ooh, look at that.
Is that the whole point of that was you laughed at the people with the race.
Yeah.
Eddie was the butt of the joke in every episode.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
12 hours.
What you call it? Mind Your Language was a huge hit in England, right? And then suddenly everybody was like, "Oh no, it's a bit racist," but it was.
Do you know who pulled it off? Do you know? Well, I mean, I don't mean to be rude. No. But do you know who actually took it off air?
Who?
He's very famous in the Doctor Who circles.
Oh, what? What's his name? Lua Grade.
Yeah.
Grade.
Michael Grade. Yeah,
Because
he decided it was too racist and it had to go.
In Canada, it's still huge. In Canada, when I was there,
there was an
5 years
American
ago.
version as well.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the American version?
I don't know what it was called, but it was very brief because what happened was they actually brought back the original British version after the American bought it. So but then they took it off air again because Michael Grade.
That's why we got Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf is basically 2 black people and 1 white guy. That's why, because the BBC was under the remit.
Cat actually dissed me on Twitter because I made a comment.
Did he?
Who?
The guy
I don't remember what it was I said, but Cat responded and
Danny Jules, who plays Cat in Red Dwarf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know who was up for the role of Lister?
No, who?
Alan Rickman.
Oh wow, that would have been a
Apparently-
different show.
Yeah, well, because this is pretty much before Die Hard sort of
PJ
thing.
with
but,
a point here.
He was a theatre person, but the problem was though he thought too much about the part because rather than just doing the jokes and everything, he was like, "What's my
motivation?"
Motivation.
Yeah,
but it is true though. I mean, again, BBC, Channel 4, all under the remit of integrating the society into their TV shows, and that's what it was all about. I said in the 70s, I was very proud of the BBC. I wanted to be part of the BBC because I could see what they were doing. But now, oh my
it's
Lord.
like, you know what, Ian? It's like when I back in the early 2000s when I went over to America to try and make it big in things like Cartoon Network and Disney and DreamWorks and all that when they were all at their height, Now I'm so glad I wasn't a part of it because it's just it's just what it doesn't represent what I thought it did. And there's a real undertone meeting a lot of people in that industry behind the scenes that I didn't want to be a part of because it's quite a scary place to be, and some of the people they have a face and then they have a behind the scenes face, and I saw the behind the scenes face and it really, really turned me off.
When I was in
I'll
LA,
write a book one day, but not right now.
When I was in LA, I didn't what they would do is they'll come up to you and they'll pump you full of sugar and say how great you are and stuff like that. But then when everything falls down and you're gone, they don't even think a second.
They drop you like a sack of bricks.
Exactly. So that's why I didn't really like LA. It wasn't because of the place; it was because of the people.
Did you ever see LA Story with Martin or Steve Martin?
Yeah, I've seen it. I thought it was quite funny.
Is that the one where he says, "If I was a girl, I'd play with my tits all day"?
I don't think so.
I love that line. Yeah, it is. It is.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years.
And I was in utter shock by that line.
Is it true that Steve Martin gave up humor because of one joke? He gave up.
Oh no!
There was one joke he said in front of a crowd, and he got it wrong, and they still laughed. And he came to the conclusion that if they're still laughing at him, then then his humor's not really working, because if they're laughing at something that's not humor.
Well, he's doing only murders in the building. So I guess
there's an amazing video clip I've seen of Steve Martin, and every time I watch it, it's hilarious. It's the one where he El Paso. If you've ever seen that, Father, it's hilarious. No. Go Steve Martin El Paso, and the whole tune is hysterical. He does a whole video clip, and he's in love with a monkey. He's riding an elephant. It's like set in the Wild West, and I love it. It's got so much humor in it.
I think Steve Martin's is a very talented man, but he literally gave up for a long time that you didn't see him anymore, and obviously he's come springing back. But again, right, it's a shame really, because I think people like Steve Martin realize what Hollywood was really all about. So that's why those kind of people take a step back away from it all, because now Hollywood is a real cesspool. It really is. There's no point in being there now. Hollywood's dying, and the corruption is coming to light, so maybe I dodged a bullet. Maybe you dodged a bullet, Matt. Do you know what I mean?
I think I did. To be honest, I think I did.
I'm just going to play this in the background. But I remember this was a Flash cartoon from the early 2000s.
Yeah, Steve Martin.
That Steve Martin was involved with.
He's looked 70 for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got the saber dance playing in the background.
But he was. You ever see The Man with Two Brains? That was absolutely hilarious.
I love The Man with Two Brains.
Hey, vanishing lady. She looks worried.
I'd be worried too.
And she's very so
Charter remains. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Was this a real show? Or
It's a
was
4-minute clip.
Was this actually Steve Martin's given blessing, or okay. Let me show him. Yeah.
He'd be arrested for murder.
Gosh.
Oh, this one. I forgot about this one.
No, I think when they do it these days, it should be.
Let's see, here we go.
Well, I don't even know what the best Steve Martin film is. I think the best Steve Martin film
The
is
Jerk.
Man with Brains. Oh, you like The Jerk, do you?
Love The Jerk.
I think the main.
Yeah, you know what? I did think that was funny once, and then when I rewatched it, I didn't find it as funny.
I do like Bowfinger. I thought Bowfinger was quite funny.
I think I know that one.
Killed everyone.
Here we'll skip ahead. Here we go.
Do you know what? It wasn't he a magician as well, Steve Martin?
Yeah. Watch this.
But he there's that. What was that one?
He used to work for Disneyland as a magician. Work in
Was
the
it
magician
Plaid?
shop.
What's that film he made where he integrated?
Dead Men
other
Don't Wear
films?
Plaid.
Yeah, there was a scene in it where he's at
um,
a bar and he's doing that
Rachel
thing with the
Walker.
coins on his hands. Pretty amazing.
First time
looked
I
at
ever
loads
saw
of times.
Steve Martin was when in the Muppet movie.
Oh, he's great in the Muppet movie. Absolutely
as the
terrific.
waiter.
The Muppet movie is brilliant, though.
I haven't seen that in years.
It is really good.
Wasn't Bill Bixby a magician as well?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was a
He was in a
magician.
TV show.
I know, it's like I'm in the TV show because I know they said because he was actually a magician before
Yeah.
he made the TV show.
He
yeah.
hosted it too. He hosted a magician show too.
Yeah, but he it only lasted.
then-
Was a big flop, wasn't it? Magician.
Yeah, I think so.
It looked good.
Yeah, and then he
though.
went on to Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I think so. He went on
Is it the American Magic Circle that's is the big? I know the Magic Circle is in this country because I know you've got people like
Dynamo.
Ali Bongo and well, like we're all big members of the.
I remember this. The magician.
Yeah.
It was.
It looks good.
It's a shame it was a flop though, because I think it only lasted for one season, or was it two?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But it's on DVD.
All right, yeah, it was good. It was a pretty good idea. I think they can resurrect that if they wanted to. That's what I thought. That Jonathan Creek was going to be like, but it wasn't. It was just rubbish.
I never got into that.
I
Yeah, then
like
they-
Jonathan Creek.
I
The
got you
early
for-
years.
Yeah,
But
but you know
early
what
years.
happened these days? They resurrected it, Ian, don't you?
Yeah,
You
it'd be a
get the
woman.
magician- No, you get the magician version of the Fall Guy.
Yeah, exactly. But the magician was a very good idea, I thought. The reason why I didn't like Jonathan Creek, I liked season 1, but I always thought that he was too soft. I seriously don't believe any male is as soft as that. Tell you the truth, he really was. And that woman, he should have just booted her out of his life. Seriously, She was
Oh,
so
got worse when
irritating.
it had that Sawita in it. And she was, and
Yeah.
then they started a relationship. You could see that was getting a bit too much.
Yeah, yeah. But I like the idea he lived in a windmill. I like the idea that he was fixing, gags for this other musician, and he was an idiot. I liked all that idea. But he didn't come across as clever, though. And then when he explained the thing that happened at the ending, you're like, what? Do you know what I mean? It's not like Columbo, where it's very clear what the guy did. But
You know what? I was watching a clip. I don't know why. I think it's because you mentioned it, Ian, that I keep getting all these recommendations about bloody Columbo on my YouTube
love
channel.
Columbo. Love it.
And anyway, I was watching this thing where he goes into a food hall and there's a nun there, and she thinks he's a hobo, and she tells him to sit down and have some food.
It's really funny.
I don't know if you watch a compatriot of yours, Matt, called Stan Fine, but he dropped a video on Columbo today.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I like Stan. I like
The
Stan.
reason why I love Columbo so much, right, is because, right, he takes on the rich, doesn't he? He doesn't take on like a normal, like a shoot 'em case. He takes on the rich people. You know what I mean? And they think he's a hobo. Do you know? And he's it's really good. It's a
There we
really
go.
good show.
Magnum PI.
Yeah, I remember this.
Don't put your gun away, mate. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Good morning, sir.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Guns don't work on Sunday.
They don't work on Sunday. They go to church.
You know what? I really liked Magnum. I think I
Logic.
stuck season 1
Do you
and
know
2.
what?
I think, and then I.
There
then
was
I-
a helicopter pilot in Australia,
Mm.
and he was very he was
Was his
well
name
known.
PC?
No, but he was well known because apparently every time he got in the helicopter, he would play the Magnum PI
Yeah.
tune over and over and over on loop.
Didn't they a couple of times certainly in the Thomas Selleck version, because I think they remade it, didn't they? Didn't they actually at the very least heavily allude to the fact that it's in the same universe as Hawaii Five-0?
Well, the remake of Hawaii Five-0, there was a scene in it where they were in a helicopter and they started singing the theme. This is like Magnum, and they start singing the theme. And then when they rebooted Magnum, they had it in the same universe. I'm like, you're got to make your mind up, guys, whether it was a TV show or whether it was in your universe. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because I thought I've vague memories of Selleck mentioning McGarrett and 5-0.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, I was saying, I actually started watching, I think, the remake of Hawaii Five-0.
I liked it. I thought it was better.
Did you like the remake of Magnum
Yeah.
PI?
No,
I never saw the remake of Magnum.
no. It was woke. It was terribly woke.
Oh,
Never saw it either.
The remake of Hawaii Five-0 was really good because what they did was they took the McGarrett character and he was from the army or the navy,
It was
whatever,
Navy SEAL, wasn't it?
and he would shoot first before he asked questions, and then you got Dano that came in that kind of balanced him out. Was like
Yeah.
complaining, or so it was really good. It was. I thought they took it in a good direction. I thought it had a lot of action in it as well.
Wasn't one of the lead characters in the remake? Didn't they have a female? I don't know if it was the same role as the
Yeah,
original one or replace one of them. I think.
That was the girl from Battlestar Galactica, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
Chinese girl from Battlestar Galactica. She
Oh
was in it.
yeah.
Yeah, she was.
But
in it.
I remember the bit. I can't remember if it was a gender swapped character or a different.
It was.
It was.
She
Oh,
played.
That was
She
so
played.
cool in the 80s. Every single action hero had a car.
Yeah.
The
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A-Team, they had a van.
Yeah. yeah.
Magnum
And,
PI, they had a car. Knight Rider. You
what
had-
about what you call it? Oh god, it's just gone out of my head now. James Garner show.
Yeah.
He had a cool
Yeah.
car, didn't he?
The other guy,
Wild Wild West. Had
Lee
a train.
Horsley. Lee
Yeah,
Horsley
yeah.
had a car. What was that
Yeah.
name? That show.
It was that was what was that show called? They made that because of Magnum, because he looks like
Yeah.
Magnum. They did that because they were jealous of Magnum.
with the
What was that
moustache and
show
stuff.
called? Yeah, what was that show
I
called?
can't remember what it's called. 'cause I
Matt
remember-
Helm? No, not Matt Helm. Something. Matt Houston. Matt Houston.
Yeah.
That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
that's it.
Matt Houston.
So I must
Okay.
admit, to be quite honest, I did kind of more remember Lee Horsley from Hawkeye,
Yeah.
because Hawkeye guest starred or co-starred Linda
Evans.
Wonderful.
Oh, Linda
Linda-
Carter.
Linda Carter.
Do anybody remember Vegas with
Robert
Yeah.
Urich.
Robert Urich?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I was thinking, what was the other one I was thinking of? What was one with James Carmen?
Spencer.
But no, yeah, I
Benson?
remember
Benson.
Did you say Benson, Matt?
No,
I like
Spencer.
Benson.
Spencer.
Spencer.
Oh, Spencer
Spencer
for hire.
Spencer
Okay, I
for
thought
Hire.
you said Benson.
And
I was
I watched
thinking the
it-
Robert Goulet show.
Oh yeah.
No, although I did see
Yeah,
that. I watched that recently. That was like, wow, that hasn't really aged
But
that
what
well.
happened to the action shows these days? I mean, they're all on Netflix, aren't they? The,
Well,
the
they're all
channels don't
they're
make
all
them anymore.
women.
Yeah, it's weird.
All of them are all women, and it's like they're all equal. Like there's no main hero anymore. They're all equal, and it's like there's no standouts. There's nothing.
No,
The only
still
thing,
got
the only
the-
time you really see a standout is if it's based on an actual character, like Reacher or someone
Yeah.
like that. You know, where
Yeah.
they focus on that character. But other than that, you know,
I still
Yeah.
got the third season of Jack Ryan to go through.
I never saw
Oh,
those.
oh, I didn't like
Okay.
that
I'm
one.
not a fan of the actor. To be
Yeah,
honest,
he's got
I
big
don't-
ears.
I've read.
Well, not just that, but he doesn't fit the type.
No, he
you know?
doesn't.
I don't know.
You see,
It's-
Hollywood is trying to give us heroes that
He's
look
only,
soft.
he's only getting his jobs because he's married to Emily Blunt.
But listen, have you not noticed that? Look at the guy who plays Superman. Does he look
Yeah.
manly? No, he doesn't.
No,
He does
apparently
not.
he's 6'3" though, Ian.
Who cares? He doesn't look manly. Look at Chris Reeves compared to him. Look at Tom Selleck compared to the guy that they cast as Magnum recast.
Henry Cavill compared to.
And look at Henry Cavill compared
Only
to
because
that
he was Latino.
Mr. Colesweat, whatever his name is. Look
Yeah.
look at the difference between them both.
Yeah.
Hollywood is trying to get rid of all the things that we love: family, religion, Christmas.
Could you
being
imagine if they
manly,
remade the Love
all
Boat
that
again?
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, that was corny.
They did have a couple of gay couples in there going, you know, trying to.
Yeah.
And I remember there was this one episode where this guy had a girlfriend, and he was going to ask her to marry him, but his parents were dwarves. And he didn't know how to explain to his girlfriend so he was embarrassed by the fact his parents were dwarves.
Something that I seen as I watched a few years ago now, and I can't remember what it was, where they had a dwarf actress, and that was part of it. And I think she was it a Monk episode? Of?
No, that was the show with that comedian, wasn't it? Peter Kay.
Oh.
Remember Peter Kay?
No, I'm sure it's an American cop show. I think it might have been, but there was one particular episode where he's talking to, or actually, you know what? It might even have been House thinking about it. So not cops.
Oh yeah, I remember House took the mick out of a tiny girl.
He's talking to, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But you know what? They'll never make House today. The House used to take the mickey out of Cuddy all the time about her breasts, about everything right across the board, didn't he? So they'll never do that today again.
I was watching Silent Witness the other day, and they had this lady in a wheelchair, and she couldn't move her arms or anything like that. And she's like this. She looked like a shriveled up bean, right? And she was a forensics expert.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And I thought, hang on a minute, they would absolutely rip that to shreds in court.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they?
Because if she would mishandle anything, you know.
Also, what about
the machine guns on
what about the trope of every sergeant now on TV shows has to be a black woman? Every cop that is after someone, like the, what is it? The last thing on Sky with the Jackal. The cop that was after him was a black woman. I'm like, what is this trope they keep doing?
Oh,
where
I
it's a
saw
black
that.
woman?
I'm like, is this based on the real Day of the
No,
Jackal?
Yes, it is. But the
It's a
Day of the
remake.
Jackal had
But
two
I was
men
like, did it
up
have
against
black
each
women
other.
in it? Yeah, that's what I couldn't work out. I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
it didn't have a black woman in it.
Matt mentioned the
Yeah, Jackal,
wheelchair, so I got to play this.
Watch this.
What's going on here? Help! What's going on? What have you done to my chair?
Looks like something out of Walker, Texas
39.
Ranger.
Help! You bastard! Somebody else help me! Help me!
He looks evil. I like that cutaway.
Is this a made-for-TV movie?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? This is a real major film. I'd be worried.
And I can't tell that he's doing it. He's got like a remote control in front
I
of
don't
him.
know.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
I hope you get hit by a car. Oh, here we go.
Oh, 65.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Children of the Corn.
Oh, Children of the Corn 2. Oh, my God.
The Amish strike back.
So, well, I got to start wrapping up soon. I got to run in bed.
All right, mate. Yeah,
So,
that was
Roman
You
was
know.
supposed to be here.
oh, maybe it's Christmas in. Still Christmas
I
in,
was,
maybe.
I was going to ask you, Ian, you know, do you remember, because you're almost old as me, there was a show, I've got this, I had these things coming to my head earlier on this evening, where they gave explanations, it was documented explanation of things, and they told you how things work. And at the end of it, because they want you, I also said, and it's that one, unless, of course, you know different. Does that ring a bell at all?
Kind of. I know there used to be a show called How.
Yeah,
Do you remember
God,
that
I
one?
don't
It's
think
not
it was
that
how.
one,
No, I
No.
don't think it was how, because I'm sure at the end of it they said these things because they said, yeah, if any of the audience knew something different, to let them know, and it always ended such and such. Unless
Yeah, I
it's
can't
all
remember what
zero
that was
different.
called.
can't
Yeah, I
what it was.
remember it. I remember
Oh,
that.
good,
I
I'm not
remember
going
it, but I
from-
can't remember what the show was called.
No.
I remember they used to have a show called How for the Kids.
Yeah.
And they used
How?
to- yeah, they say how, and it's like, how did this work, and then explain how it
Yeah, and
works.
it's
Now,
gone
guys,
to the
that'd be
down charge of
appropriation,
social
wouldn't it?
or whatever.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah. Look, Matt,
does everybody-
on air, Matt Potts, like and subscribe. That's what it says at the back of you.
Anybody
Yeah,
got
like
anything
and
to plug?
subscribe to my channel.
That's right.
Poor father. You get a cute dog as well.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat's sleeping somewhere. So, Archer, anything to plug?
Not this week. We're FFSI's back on the 6th, but that's Monday week. So,
Well, I got another week of school off before the second semester starts, so I'll be able to go live again next Friday.
Oh, well, I've got Rebecca Gull, so people subscribe and like.
Yep,
that's all.
that's
I can
right.
say.
So,
And fund.
okay,
Alright.
well, with that, I thank you guys for joining me, and
No
thanks
worries.
to everybody watching. We'll be
You're welcome.
talking to you soon, and we're hitting the button.